Hi everyone, and welcome to English 251. In this screencast, I just want to go over really quickly some of the main tenets and points of this course so that you get kind of a big picture approach to what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be learning, and some critical policies that will help you succeed. So right now, I am looking at the course syllabus. You can find that by clicking on the syllabus tab in your classroom. And here you can go through and read course description, what the outcomes are, what the schedule is like, how many hours you're expected to be in the classroom and working on it. So be sure to read through all this information. I'm just going to kind of scan over it quickly just so that you can get that really important information pointed out to you. With the required materials, we don't have a textbook in this course. All the readings are provided for you online. So if you would like, feel free to print those out so that you have something on paper that you can make annotations and notes on. I would really encourage you to do that, especially when it comes to the readings. It's really helpful if you can have the short story or the poems in front of you and you can mark them up and highlight things so that when you go back to work with them either on a quiz, a discussion board, or maybe even an essay, you've already got some notes to work from and won't have to reread the whole thing searching for stuff. But you can also do that online too. So whatever you do, make sure you're annotating, taking notes, and really highlighting things that are popping out to you in the text that you work through. With the virtual office hours, I'm certainly available to have those, but I do not have regular office hours each week. I only do them by appointment. So by all means, feel free to email me, send me a message in Canvas. Let me know if you're struggling with something and you'd like to meet in person, because sometimes that can be really helpful, again, especially as it comes toward the essays, which are some of your bigger assignments this term. So there will be an office hours discussion board each week, which will be attached to my notes from instructor page. All you have to do is go into the notes from Sister Rasmussen, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll find a place that you can post some questions and concerns that you have for that particular lesson. Here's some information about grading, how things are going to work in terms of weighing, the honor code system. Of course, I trust that you will all be honest in your work and make sure that your work reflects what you are learning. So let me go into this announcement, which will become available to you really quickly. You'll see the videos there. So here are just some suggestions and policies that I have for this course. Make sure you begin with prayer. That's a really important part of not only my teaching, but also a part of your learning. So be sure to do that. Be aware that I will give you as much feedback as I can. I cannot give extensive, exhaustive feedback like you may like and hope for, but do know that I will give you feedback on quite a few assignments. And if you ever have questions about the feedback that I provide for you, don't hesitate to ask. One of the biggest forms of feedback that I will give you is on your essay rough drafts, and I will just provide some information for you to help you in your revision as you work toward a final draft for your papers. With the feedback that I give, if I'm willing to, take the time to provide that feedback for you, I do expect you to take the time to read that, and I'll show you how to do that in the course tour and where to find it. So sometimes the feedback is going to be really short and sweet and to the point, and other times it's going to be a little more in depth and be more specific as to what exactly you need to improve. So not only do I want you to take the time to read that information and feedback, but I also expect you to apply it to your future assignment. So say in this essay or the first essay, you didn't have the greatest transitions from paragraph to paragraph. I will hope that you'll take the time to read that feedback, really focus on it, learn what transitions are, how you can improve them, and then really actually focus on them in your next essay. So I'm not just providing that feedback for you just because. I'm doing that to help you and to let you know where you're succeeding and where maybe you need to improve a little bit. If you want some help with writing, you can use the Academic Support Center. While I am, of course, more than willing to provide you with feedback, especially on your essays, do realize that I have multiple classes, a family, whatnot. So do remember too that this class is not a composition class. You've already had your composition classes. So coming into this course, you may not feel comfortable with writing, but you should have the foundational elements to writing. And in my notes from Sister Rasmussen page, I actually have a little composition corner, I call it, where I go through some composition elements to help refresh your memory, strengthen maybe some weaknesses that you might have. So just remember that that I'm not really here to teach you writing, but I am here to help you and support you in whatever you might need. Really important, I don't accept late work. I do have a late work pass that you can use on one assignment, but in general, I don't do deductions for assignments that are turned in eventually. It's just an automatic zero, and sometimes that even applies to technological malfunctions, vacations. I'll get students who say, "Oh, I'm going on a cruise and won't have the internet." Really, if you're going to be in a position like that, it's really up to you to make sure that you have a backup plan, make sure that you are aware of any vacations you might be taking over the course of the semester, and that you're prepared to either get your work done and completed, or to have the consequences that follow if you're not able to get your work submitted. So number one thing is to be in communication with me, which is the next point here. If you have things that come up, be sure to let me know, and let me know before the work is due. I've also had students in the past who say, "Oh, well, I went on vacation last week, so I wasn't able to get anything in. Am I able to get it in now?" And then it's really, really too late. So just communicate with me. Let me know what's going on with you. If you have something come up and you've been hospitalized, or family member's been hospitalized, I'm more than willing to, take those things into consideration. But just do remember that my late work policy is pretty strict. And that's to encourage accountability on your part and to make things really just more beneficial for the both of us. It's best for students to get their work in on time, because if you don't, you're going to start getting backed up. And I want you to focus on week five's work instead of week 5 and week 4's. So it's really in your best interest to stay on top of things and not get behind in your work. Make sure you're checking your grades. If you see any discrepancies or issues or have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. I put in many grades in a given week, and you only see so many. So it's a lot easier for you to find errors than it is for me. So I don't mind if you ask questions about your grades, because it's probably about 50-50. Sometimes it's not a mistake, and sometimes it is. So just communicate with me. It's totally fine. Also, I have a Facebook page if you would like to join that. Sometimes I send out fun links and messages and whatnot, but that's totally optional. So if you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine. So I hope this has been helpful in orienting you to the course and what my expectations are. I have no doubt we'll have a great time working together, so I really look forward to it.